Conversation with Daniel Martinez about creative finance. And through that conversation, I was able to close a $2 million acquisition just because of understanding how finance works and using it in business. Today, we're going to talk about using that in real estate and some behind the scenes secrets so you can build your real estate empire and how to make it easier on yourself to build systems with the perfect CRM tool. But first, let's bring in the show.
This show is sponsored by HiveMind CRM. It is more than just a CRM. It is a real estate and business mastermind that comes with an all-in-one CRM. You can have unlimited websites and users. You can call, text, RVM, and email all in one user interface. And you can set up custom automations for any type and multiple businesses. 65% of companies start using a CRM system within the first 5 years of business. Once implemented, the HiveMind will save you on marketing, give you more time, and make more money. One of our users had his first $100,000 month using our system in June. We want to see you automate and accelerate your business. Text us at 210-972-1842 for future meetings and, of course, to get our $1 course on how to make more than six figures on one land deal. You can schedule your free demo today at hivemindcrm.io. This is the Entrepreneur Underdog. Business secrets to help doubted entrepreneurs triumph. The Underdog Entrepreneur is where we use fast-acting shortcuts to help underdog entrepreneurs make more money, have a bigger impact, and live a better lifestyle so that they can prove their haters wrong. And now, your host, Roy Red.
Yo, what up, everybody? It's your boy Ray Red, 5-time best-selling author, internationally recognized speaker, and your host of this show, The Entrepreneur Underdog, where we share fast-acting shortcuts, secrets, strategies, and tactics so you can win in life and business and prove your haters wrong, but in a positive way. Today, I'm super excited. We got Daniel Martinez, who is a friend of mine, real estate guru, and co-founder of HiveMind, skip tracing expert, and land investor. Daniel, what's up, brother?
Man, I'm happy to be here, man. I think this is the second time I'm on the show, so definitely go check out the other episode.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on the second time because now we're getting a lot more views and we're both more seasoned and both know a lot more. But since we've had the first episode, man, tell us about HiveMind, how you guys have grown and where you guys have taken it so far.
Yeah, so we'll actually hit our 2-year mark February 1st, which is in a couple days from now. And we'll hit $1 million. If not this month, we'll hit it probably like second week of February, first week of February. We're really close to that since we launched, and it'll be a 2-year mark, $1 million in revenue. Really excited about that. But on the real estate side, man, it's just been going crazy. We've been buying a lot of real estate and selling a lot of real estate. I think right now we're looking to buy like 600 acres in the next 90 days.
Dang, that's crazy, man. So we're going to get into, tactical, how'd you build that business. Your business model, I don't think anybody knows your business model. It's like a secret. And we're not going to get into the actual model because it's genius. And you guys are building $1 billion company. I don't just feel that and believe that. It's a fact. But just taking it back, tell us, before we get into the real estate, tell us how HiveMind can help someone just grow their business, period.
Yeah, sure. So HiveMind is a business automation platform. We help entrepreneurs like automate and delegate their tasks, which is like their marketing materials. So for everybody here that's an entrepreneur, you always have to if you're using spreadsheets, notebook paper, sending out invoices manually, all this stuff that you can coordinate. That's kind of what HiveMind does. So websites, forms, text to pay integration, text marketing, email marketing, a lot of that stuff that you need to follow up with your clients, all that stuff you need to actually build your business from the ground up. That's what HiveMind's there to help you do.
Yeah. We talk about on the show all the time, there's really 3 keys to business. And anybody who isn't doing these 3 things don't have a business. You have to look at your business as 3 different businesses, right? 1 is the lead generator, where you bring in leads. 2 is converting those leads and giving the customer experience. And then the follow-up business is, following up, getting reviews and all of that stuff. So tell us kind of some of your ways of generating leads to come into your business, and also how you use HiveMind to systemize that process.
Yeah. So one of the first things I'll do, I mean, I'll drop the call to action here is if you want to text 210-972-1842. Again, that is 210-972-1842. Just text the keyword course. That actually gives you one of our call to actions, which is how to make six figures on one land deal. It's literally $1. We try and make it cheap and affordable just to kind of get the information out there, but that we use text marketing for that. So everybody that texts that in the next 2 minutes, 3 minutes, or later on today, that's what we use. So we use lead generation through text marketing, and you can pull list, buy list, market to that list, email that list. There's different ways depending on what niche you're in to coordinate. And I think Roy might talk about that, where you can pull lists depending on what niche you're in, and just write that list over and over again and set up follow-up campaigns, really build up that customer connection using automation to convert that lead into a sale.
And that's huge. Using what that we call that a tripwire, where you give value away dang near for free, $1. And he's literally in that course, or in that he's going to literally teach you how to make six figures with one land deal. And with HiveMind, most of the people in the group do land deals, even though it might be said that land deals don't cash flow. So you explain to me why land deals are great and why you guys do land deals.
So I always like bringing up this analogy. So like land, it's a burden because taxes. There's usually no improvement just because there's no houses and nothing on it. People might dump on it. So it's usually just vacant land. Number three is people inherit it. A lot of people that own it, they inherit it. They pay cash for it. There's usually debt on it. Whereas houses, they kind of have that ability to kind of rent it out, arbitrage it in some way. They have a lot of exit strategies. With land, they really don't. We kind of create opportunity when we buy it. And then the other thing is that there's no way to use it to make income on it. There's no income producing on it. It's just there. So they're paying taxes on it. They inherit it. There's no sentimental value that brings to them. It's just there. So we can usually get a really good deep discount, and then we create opportunity by seller financing. And that's how we create win-win opportunities, by offering it to the marketplace. And we do that with large land tracts.
Now, once you have these land deals and you have big land, or you close the deal, does it cash flow? Do you hold on to it? How do you make money with it?
So I always like bringing up this deal. It's early on. It kind of breaks it down from the basics so everybody understands. So we had about a 30, this deal's about a year and a half ago, and it's kind of gave us the premise to do what we do now on larger scale. But it's kind of breakdown for everybody to understand. So we found a $35,000 acre lot, a $35,000 lot. That wasn't, I think it was like an acre. It was small. And I can't remember the size of it, but it was $35,000 lot. The seller wanted $15,000 for it, which is that's a really great deal. I mean, if you sell it for full market value, get 20 grand on it, like, right? So what we ended up doing was we told him we'll take it for 8,000, and he's like, no, I need 15. I need 15. So he ended up coming back 90 days later. We agreed on the 8,000, and we sold it on Facebook Marketplace for $8,000 down, $500 a month. Wow. So what did we do here? We essentially took the down payment that the buyer was bringing us, gave that directly to the seller, and now we created $500 a month, which is, if people that do rentals, an average rental brings $250 to $750 a month. So we created $500 a month of cash flow for 5 years on a $35,000 asset versus a $200,000 house that brings in the same amount of value.
That's smart, and that's just a little bit of the creative financing stuff that you have in that big brain in your head there. Real quick, we have a bunch of people on the live. We are talking to Daniel Martinez about the top secrets of building wealth with real estate. So if you are on YouTube, where most of you are, hop in the chat on the right, ask a question. If you're nervous, then DM me, I'll ask the question. That'll be below on Facebook and on other tools. We don't even know where you guys post, but I'm sure it's somewhere. Daniel, I want to ask you, let's dive into some mindset stuff real quick. When did you decide to really go hard in business and really go entrepreneurial, and what mindset change did you have to make, or were you always kind of an entrepreneur?
For me, there's no right time to start entrepreneurship. It's kind of one of those things that if you want to do it, you just have to do it. There's never the right situation, like, oh, there's an opportunity there, let me do that. No, you just got to jump in and kind of make it work. there's a Steve Harvey talks about jumping off the cliff with no parachute and then hoping a parachute will appear. And that's kind of how entrepreneurship is. And that's kind of how I went down through it. So I had my wife, I was pregnant, and I'm like, if I don't do this now, I'm always going to have kids and growing up kids, school, and all this stuff. So I'm like, let me just do this right now because it was no better opportunity than the present. So that was about 5 years ago. My oldest daughter is now 5. And it's just been a crazy, crazy journey from there. I've learned a lot. My first business actually failed, and I pivoted into software and real estate, and that's what I'm doing now. And it's kind of one of those things where I've kind of escalated and grown every step of the way beyond that. And like people think like mindset is one of those things where like you have to make the decision to go, and then your mindset kind of creates itself. And there's different levels to the mindset steps that come along through each step. And there's levels to this. I think Jay-Z says that.
There's levels to this. So that kind of segues into my next question. You talked about, early businesses failing. Give us a context and a story where you were struggling. Maybe you didn't, whatever that struggle was, what was the worst struggle you had? And then what actually got you through, and kind of just give us a story of, what was your life looking like at that time and how you got through that.
For everybody here, man, you have to go all in on yourself. You have to bet on yourself. I think a lot of entrepreneurs or people that take entrepreneurship as a side hustle, no offense to people that call it side hustles or whatever, but sometimes you have to jump all the way in, man. That side hustle may be a side hustle for 10 years if you don't take it seriously. Yeah. And it's one of those things where you have to jump with all full feet forward. So one of my first businesses I started was a trucking business, and I struggled with everything, man. Like one of the big reason why I hated that business was they capped out what you can make. So like I started a trucking business, so I only had one truck when I started. So I can only pull as much as that one truck could pull. I can only make whatever the rates were paying at that time and where I was location wise. So I was limited by all these different ways to make money. And this is one of the reasons why I joined the Top Capital Mastermind, was kind of open my eyes to like digital products and scalability of digital assets. So this is why I like software. This is why I like real estate. This is why I like land, because there's so much opportunity and you can create that opportunity anywhere you want. Whereas in the trucking business, you can only grow to whatever that cap limit is based off the trucks, trailers, and drivers you have and insurance you have. Like there's so much limiting establishments on you at that time when you're in certain businesses. And this is where like, if you're going to go into business, find a business that's scalable and has a big, wide entrance where you can grow that business into exponential levels. Because if you're capped out at certain levels, it's hard to grow with those type of businesses.
Yeah. And how'd you get through that? I mean, did you tactically, did you get a job? Did you just start another business? How'd you work through all of that?
Man, it was one of those decisions. Like I actually started pivoting into real estate at that time when I was in trucking, just because I knew it wasn't working. And I told myself, like, I have to give it all I have in this business right now, because if I don't, I'm always going to be like, I could have done more. You always have that fear of doubt that you didn't do enough. And it really like that was like my mindset shift right there. Is like, I have to do whatever it takes to get to the next level. And that really pushed me beyond to learn real estate. I was doing real estate while I was trucking and had truck drivers and all this stuff. And it forced me to learn and adapt and pivot and transition into another business, which is like determination and consistency.
Yeah. We all have to pivot at times. And, when you pivot and you go into a new niche or new business, you get to take with you your experience and everything you learned. Right now, we have, what we got? 1,100 people on. We are talking to Daniel Martinez about top secrets in building wealth with real estate. We are going to get tactical now. Daniel, let's say I'm, new to real estate. I want to jump in. What will be my fastest way to make 100,000, and what exactly would I need to do?
So real estate is, I would look at wholesaling. There's a lot of agents out there. There's plenty of agents out there, but that's not the way to do it, in my opinion. I've gone through the investor route. I'm not licensed. I didn't go through any of that training, nothing like that. The training I went through was the School of Hard Knocks, which we always talk about. The best schooling out there. University, you're going to learn a lot. It's one of those things where like the best way to learn how to do real estate is just contract property, make offers, go out there, do the activities that actually produce results over and over again, and make offers on properties, man. For everybody out there, there's tons of properties on the MLS. houses, apartments, multifamily, land. If it's been sitting down there for 6 months or more, they're a motivated seller. They want to sell. So make them a 50% offer. See if they take it. Make them offers on terms. Make them a full price offer on terms. Like, you don't know what they're going to accept unless you ask. So it's always out there making the offer and waiting for the response back. And then you can kind of play the game based off whatever they respond. But people have different underlying motivations. You never really know what they are till you ask.
Yeah. It's weird. A lot of people who do get into real estate who are new, they kind of go on MLS and Zillow and they just look around, but they never pull the damn trigger and actually make an offer. So
they never make an offer.
That's just a mental thing. You just got to make an offer. Is there any kind of secrets that you use to make an offer, or do you just flat out just reach out?
I think it's a like a mindset confidence issue. Like, what do I do? What do I do once the offer is accepted? Well, there's a thing called wholesaling. You can find a buyer. As long as at a good price, the money will find itself, and you can network with people on Facebook or network with people like us. We do land specifically. So if you find a good land deal, send it to us. This is where like you leverage your network and you start actually actively being in the space. Go to RIA meetings locally, go to real estate events in your area or in other cities. There's some popping up every month, everywhere in every city. You can go to meetup.com, look for a real estate meetup. Like, there's people everywhere doing this business in every market, no matter how big the city is, there's somebody there doing it. Yeah. So it's just networking and finding that people out there that kind of make it comfortable and can walk you through the first steps. Like, one of the first deals I did, you could talk to a mentor. Like, we still talk to mentors even now with deals, because like different situations call for different resolutions. So like you always gotta have that person that you can call that knows what they're doing, that's going to walk you through it.
Talk about it all the time, guys. Get mentors, get people who actually done it, because they could tell you where you're going to mess up, what's hard. They could tell you the back shortcuts and things like that. Co-founder Anthony, real quick, tell us, how'd you meet Anthony and how you guys came up with the idea for Hive Mind? Were you just kind of chilling, smoking, or how'd you guys come up with the idea?
I'm gonna put this on record. I don't smoke and I rarely drink. I drink like once every like 5 weeks, and it's like one drink. So it wasn't any of that, at least on my side.
Comes to the cigar lounge to business connect and all that stuff, but he's just chilling.
Yeah, I went to a cigar lounge with Roy and some of his contacts, and everybody there smoking cigars, and I'm just sitting there chilling.
You're beating us at chest.
And it's one of those things where like you got to go to this place where people are doing business. We did that a few months ago. That was a cool experience. But for everybody here, what was the question again? I forgot. I was going to answer it.
Co-founder Ant-Man, Anthony. His energy is crazy, man. He's on another level with lead generation and just reaching people. How did you guys meet and come up with the idea for Hive Mind?
Yeah, great question. So I actually met him. We bought the same real estate course, which is, for everybody out here that think courses are scams, go buy a course, man. Go buy a course. If there's somebody that's doing what you want to do, go pay for whatever offer they have, because usually it's going to shortcut the information. You can go watch, everything is on YouTube. Every video, subject, anything you want to learn is on YouTube. But how many videos are you going to have to click through and watch through before you actually get the information you want to know?
Yeah.
And how much is that relevant information? So if there's something you want to learn, go buy their course, go join their email list. They're going to start educating you on what they do, how they do it. And that's how me and Anthony connected. So me and Anthony connected. We bought somebody's course. We connected through their Facebook group. Me and Anthony were the only ones doing land, and that's how we kind of clicked together. And we've been together for 4 years now. And it's kind of one of those things where like you're going to meet people along the same path as you once you start walking down that path.
Yeah.
People present themselves.
Yeah. That's huge. That's huge. Right now, or in a second here, we're going to cut the streams because we're going to get tactical. And of course, like always, I'm going to make Daniel give step-by-step processes on how he does some things. And I'm kind of going to go over what he taught me to help me close my $2 million deal. So if you guys want this part of the interview, look below and find out how you can come to the Victorious Underdog membership group, where we listen to the best experts on how to get things done. So if you can't afford a mentor, come get 5, 10, 15 mentors who's actually been there, done that. And I'm going to ask them, I asked them the same question I'm about to ask Daniel right now. Daniel, if I took everything away from you, you had $0 and nothing left, what step-by-step process would you take to close a deal and then get back to where you are today?
I would probably make offers on the MLS for land sitting on the market and property sitting on the market for 6 months or more, because it shows they already have underlying motivation to sell, and it's just figuring out what their terms are. And
Mm-hmm.
everybody's open to terms once they realize they can't get cash for it. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of figuring out a win-win scenario where you can get real estate and large assets over. And I've seen people like take over like a 500 unit apartment complex using creative finance with zero
Wow.
money out of pocket. Like, how do you do that? You
Yeah.
do that by making the offer and talking to people and building relationships.
I don't even tell people that I use creative finance to buy this business. I act like I have the money because they just have no clue about the power of doing some creative financing work. So, say I'm a kid who is going to do this, do what you say, because if you get one deal, it'll change your whole life. What are some ways, or give us a scenario of creative finance that you've seen or that is possible where someone could get a deal and not pay any money out of their own pocket?
I will give you the baseline offer, and you can figure out why it makes sense later on your own if you can maybe
Uh-huh.
if you know how to do this well. But the
Uh-huh.
baseline offer is make the full price or above asking price
Uh-huh.
offer with a 360-month of equal payments, and see what happens. Do the math. You'll figure out it's a deal every time.
And he just gave you the key. He gave it in the nomenclature in the language of business. But I'll kind of give my story. When Daniel taught me this, is I wanted to buy businesses, and so we reached out to a healthcare business, and the owner of the healthcare business wants to retire, but he can't retire because the market is bad. Taxes are going to hit him. There's just different things. He wants $2 million for his business, but his business is worth maybe $900,000. And so what I did was that I came to him and said, "I'll give you your 2 million, but I dictate the terms." And what we do is we just dictate the terms in a creative way to where it's beneficial for him. He gets his $2 million, and it's beneficial to me because I get a cash flowing business. So I hope that makes sense to you guys.
That is amazing. I didn't hear that side of the story, but that's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, yeah. I got to get with you and Todd and tell you guys what I was doing. I've turned down 3 deals because I'm scared to take on more deals until I close this one, which probably isn't a good idea. You're probably gonna text me like you're tripping. You need to just buy everything, like you said. Buy
By
everything.
everything, man.
Yeah.
I made a tweet. I made a tweet a while ago. Is that once you understand finance, the price doesn't matter.
Whew. I'm gonna post that. I'm gonna post that for sure. Daniel, you built a super big community with Hive Mind, everybody using the CRM. This is just something selfish I wanted to ask. Are you guys looking into adding some AI into the CRM since API is open?
The AI. I don't even talk about ChatGPT at all. I really don't. And the reason why is from an technically I'm an agency. From the agency standpoint, a lot of
Mhm.
people don't. It's way over people's heads. I mean, people struggle with the CRM. Why you want to bring AI into the mix? An
Uh,
AI conversation is for a select few customers that are at that level, and yeah, I try not to confuse people more than is required because people already get confused at basic levels.
that's super smart. That's one of the reasons why the iPhone isn't as innovative as it could be. It's
Yep.
because they want to grab every single market and they don't want to get too far ahead. I didn't even think of that. You're super smart for that. Super smart. Daniel, if you talk to your 15-year-old self, what would you tell that guy? What would you tell that kid?
If you're going to start something, just be consistent and don't ever quit and gamble on yourself. A lot of people they're too afraid to put too much pressure than they think they can handle.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I think is like almost biblical is like the pressure that you're allowed to take is always expanded.
Yeah. That's so dope. That's so dope. You're gonna adapt. Just just get in there. The way my mom taught me how to swim is she threw me in a pool. And my mom can't swim, so she couldn't save me. And so I thought I was drowning, thought I was dead. I remember touching the floor in the pool and go, okay, jump. I jumped, got some air, and I started to relax and I was like doggy paddling. And even though my form was terrible, I basically taught myself how to swim in that moment. I just adapt quickly. So the quicker you can adapt, and as long as you can stay consistent, you are going to crush it. All right, Daniel, let's get into some philosophical stuff.
All
If
right.
you could have dinner with anyone who's ever lived, who would it be and why?
Ooh. This one, it's kind of like Alexander the Great, because when I think about Alexander the Great, he controlled a lot of Europe and Asia
Yeah,
from one central point. Like that's amazing leadership.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I don't know if it was out of fear, but it was out of something. It
yeah. He was killing cats, man.
was
All right, let's
crazy.
talk. Let's talk about Hive, man. You have Hive with us. You have the shirt on, where you have a great podcast, and you guys grind. You got like 300 episodes now, or more, probably. Tell us how you built your community and how you use the podcast to generate leads and build a community.
So the podcast is just a lead magnet, and it's providing education too. There's a lot of benefits that come from podcasting, and I recommend everybody start a podcast. It is not too late. It is not too, even YouTube as well. If you're creating content, put it everywhere. I was telling Roy before this call, he needs to put his short form on Reels on YouTube. It's just one of the things, like if you're already creating, you're already doing it, just put it everywhere. But the podcast is it's a way to get and provide information everywhere all at once
Yeah,
and build credibility with your audience,
yeah.
because you don't know who's listening. You don't know who's listening.
The show is sponsored by The List Guys. Do you need more leads in your local or virtual market? 1 in 10 small businesses don't invest in any kind of marketing. The List Guys have over 35 plus list types to choose from, and you can mix and match any list or criteria. We also use the skip trace list and provide up to 7 numbers and email addresses. Every list you purchase will be scrubbed against previous purchases. The List Guys are here to save you time. Contact the List Guys today at www.onelistguys.com. That's www.1listguys.com.
Yeah. I think you told me this a while back. You said the way to show people that you can help them is by actually helping them. And so with this long form content, you can, answer questions, show people who you are. They get to like you, love you, and know that you know what you're talking about. And then you could chop this up in the short form as well and put it all over socials. And before we started the live, you were talking about content. Talk about how important content is and how much content you've done. You say you got thousands and thousands of hours of content. Tell us how important content is and kind of your content strategy.
My content strategy is do everything everywhere all at once. I know it's a movie title, but I take it sarcastically too, because I think with the information age that we're in and the consumption of content that we're heading towards, I mean, TikTok is one of the biggest apps out there. Instagram, like what are the biggest things that everybody's on that's out there? Is social media. So you want to produce content in social media because that's the way to monetize audience. I think Mr. Beast got offered for $1 billion for all his channels.
Yeah.
That's showing you where the power of entrepreneurship and creating content goes. I mean, he started a restaurant and 10,000 people showed up on opening day. Like that shows you the power of where you can drive and point traffic, and it's just building relationships and building long form content. I put content literally everywhere. I'm on Pinterest, Twitch, Rumble, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and it's not even that all of them are hitting. It's just if somebody wants to find me, I don't really care if they're. I'm on Reddit. Reddit was a thing 10 years ago. I'm on Reddit. Like it's one of those things where like everywhere people want to be, I'm there. Like every time New Wave pops up, I'll be there too. It's
And
just
this
another
this
add to it.
this content game is a hustle, bro. Like you work hard. Like when do you ever even sleep? If I hit you up at 3 a.m, you're texting me right back. You're posting all the time. You're working. You got your team working. Like talk about that grind and that hustle, man. Because now that you guys hitting over $1 million in revenue, I remember when you guys started. Like the hustle was crazy. It was 2-3 years of grinding every single day. Talk about that.
It's one of those things where like you got to do more work than you think it requires, and eventually it'll stick. So like people that I posted my video on YouTube and I only got 2 views consistently, and then tell me what happens. Like people want instant results and instant gratification, but like the social media game is a long term play. Like you got to be doing this stuff for a while before it even pans out and produces. Are you okay producing results for 3 to 5 years with nothing, no end goal, and something will happen?
Yeah.
That's what entrepreneurship is. You got to produce. 5 viewers come, produce. They fall off, produce. Like you got to continue and continue and continue.
Yeah.
And like we have like probably over 1,300 videos on YouTube right now. That doesn't happen overnight. That's years and years of content, years of hours of recording, doing stuff like this. It's a lot of content that doesn't come up overnight. It's just producing. You'll
Yeah.
figure it out and iron out the lines later, and it comes out better eventually.
Yeah. And it's funny because I started a podcast with my boys, and we're doing well. And we would get like 1,000 views, and I'd be like, "Dang, we only got 1,000 views." And then my friend Jeff, who's a pastor, says, like, "Roy, that is equivalent to a mega church." And I
Hmm.
think because we're just looking at a little thing that says views, we don't take it serious. And so at the end of the day, you got to start creating for 1, for 10, for 50, and realize those are actual people, and keep serving those people. And then more and more people will come in. Daniel, tell me, kind of touching more on that question about if you went back to zero, you said you would do offers for land. Give me another way you can maybe make money, but give me something low ticket. That's kind of high ticket where you just get on the board and you're crushing it. Give me some low ticket ways you would jump into the game.
I like the agency route. I mean,
Uh huh.
it gives you unlimited opportunity. There's a lot of people out there, and I think I mentioned this. You asked me a question about it earlier.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that aren't technologically savvy that need that next step up. I
Yeah.
literally saw a video on TikTok where she messaged restaurants to handle their social media for $200 a month. There's tons and tons of struggling restaurants that have zero social media presence that you can help on a part-time basis.
Yeah.
That you can really take their business to the next level
Yeah.
by doing something they're not. And this is where like you don't have to have amazing social media strategy to do that. You can just literally take whatever content they have
Yeah.
and just manually post it, repost, and eventually build up your posting database and content database to eventually have hundreds of pieces of content that you can repost daily. And
Yeah.
it takes time. It's one of those things where you can really make an impact to a lot of businesses as an agency just by reaching out to struggling businesses out there
Yeah.
because there's tons of them.
Yeah. You'll find someone you could help, show them you could actually help them by doing something for free or on the house, or by
Yep.
doing podcasts where you're teaching it, and then upsell them later, man. That's what it is. It's super smart. Anybody could do this. Anybody could do this. All
Yep.
right, Daniel, give me a quote you live by, or a quote that you love the most, and why.
I got two. So you build your infamy off the content you produce. That's my go-to, and this is just off of I've been preaching it not because of me doing it, and I think I'm doing it. I'm trying to make that happen,
Yeah.
but I've seen it happen for so many people. Just start producing content and they just blow up, and it's crazy how it happens. But you build your infamy off the content you produce. And my second one is your name is important. You only have one of them,
Yeah.
so value it accordingly.
Yeah. That second one's huge with me because I don't take no disrespect lightly, and people be like, "Yo, why are you getting so upset?" I'm like, "Don't disrespect me. Like my name is everything." Give me your favorite book or a book that's changed your life and why.
I think what changed my life was like Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it's always like the go-to. But it kind of opened my eyes to like understand that you don't have to work for money. You can have money work for you. You can have employees work for you. You
Yeah.
can have other facets besides working for money because 90% of the population works for whatever the hourly wage is, whether it's $10 to $200 an hour. Even politicians have that wage cap. They make
Yeah.
$250,000 a year. Like whatever, when you understand that you don't have to physically work to produce money, you can have money work for money. You can have stocks work for money. You can have property work for money. Like whatever that is, there's other ways to make money. And as long as you understand that, you don't have to actually work for yourself, and you have the freedom to do whatever you want.
There it is, brother. There it is. If someone wants to pick your brain on creative financing, on land deals, hop into Hive Mind. Where can they find you? Where can they hive with us, and all that good stuff?
So I am at HiveMind CRM literally everywhere. Our podcast is called the Hive with Us Podcast Network, and we have a free Facebook group. Definitely go check out the dollar course. I have said it earlier, and free Facebook group HiveMind CRM. And if you like content like this and other things like this, check out the podcast Hive with Us Podcast. Other side.
If you aren't following Daniel and just following their movement and being around their team and their community, like, what are you doing? So I'm gonna throw everything underneath in the description so you can reach out to Daniel. Don't just consume this, and actually reach out, actually get in Hive Mind, get that $1 course. If you don't know what you're doing in life, do this and focus on this and go make some money. And then maybe you can get your purpose later. But this guy is killing the game. If you can get 10% of his brain, you'll take it to another level. So thanks, Daniel. Thanks for hopping on, brother.
No, thank you, man. For everybody here, just be consistent. Go start something. Go change the world. It only takes one person to do so, one person at a time.
There it is. Thank you guys for tuning in live for Who Did. And I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed making it for you. Till next time. Peace.
Hey guys, if you would like to receive hot leads right to your cell phone in a text message, check out hiveleads.io and you can receive the same leads we've been receiving in our campaign for 3.5 years that's made us successful in the land game. Check us out.